More than 100 white and coloured youths fought a pitched battle against the police. Some were as young as 12, the oldest no more than 20. It lasted for 8 hours, and at the end of it, Merseyside's chief constable said it was a planned attack. "We were set up," he said. The worst of the rioting came just after dawn, when police faced a hail of stones, bottles, iron bars and petrol bombs. The missiles were hurled from behind barricades of upturned and burning cars. It began in Upper Parliament Street, one of the main roads out of the city centre, and ammunition was all around in derelict sites and empty houses. At daylight, the police began a series of charges to break up the gangs massed in front of them, but as the rioters fell back, they set fire to more buildings, and sporadic looting, which had been going on all night, now spread. Shop after shop was plundered and goods scattered around as the youths fled. And still the bricks, stones and lumps of iron were thrown, worst of all the petrol bombs. And against all this, riot shields and visors were not enough. At least 70 policemen were injured and 12 are still in hospital tonight. Most of them are suffering from head injuries. One is Constable Paul Martin, whose visor failed to protect him from the flying stones.
Coming up to me, they was advancing towards us, and all of a sudden I put my head down to go forward, to creep forward again, and then it was just suddenly hit by a brick. They came up that close that the brick was thrown over.
How many people were there?
In the crowd, possibly about 50 youths, 50 or 200 youths throwing stones at that particular time. When one came over and hit the visor and hit my
Where
face.
did it hit? Is this where it hit here?
Just there, yeah. And then it scraped down and hit my face.
At one stage, hijacked cars and vans were driven at the police lines, but they held their ranks. Many of the injured were given first aid behind a screen of fire engines before being taken to a fleet of ambulances. Some elderly people had been trapped in their homes for several hours, unable to escape the rioting until help arrived. The trouble started about midnight when gangs of black youths began stoning cars in the street. One owner said his windscreen was smashed and he was dragged from his car at gunpoint. Police had been standing by for trouble since Friday night, when 2 officers were attacked as they tried to arrest a motorcyclist. But the rioters in Toxteth were well prepared for their battle with the police. They carried with them a range of weapons, including iron railings, chisels, clubs and sledgehammers. And the chief constable was convinced it was a vicious attack on police, not racial.
I blame a small group of criminal hooligans who were hell-bent to provoke the police into a situation that would give them an opportunity to attack what is visibly a symbol of authority.
On the streets of Toxteth today, the local community leader had another view.
What happened last night is just the eruption, if you like. We've been saying for a long time now that something has got to be done in terms of jobs, in terms of economic future, and in terms of giving the black community some say in what, or some future in society.
Anyone who came in the path of the rioters was attacked. One of them was BBC cameraman Neil Higginson. 6 youths charged at him and a colleague wielding pickaxes.
It could easily have ended up with one or even both of us being killed.
So you would almost say you were quite lucky?
I was incredibly lucky. I really was, because if one of those blows had been slightly different and I got the pointed end of a pickaxe, I'd have been dead now.
And this is what's left of your camera. How much will that cost to replace?
Well, this is an Ariflex camera. If I replace this, it's going to cost me in excess of £10,000.
Already, estimates of the damage have reached £500,000. In the final analysis, though, it could be much higher than that. And tonight, police are on full alert in case the rioting breaks out again.